Today, I'm going to show you a skill that can act like a superpower if you apply it correctly after watching this video. Self-confidence. But I'm not talking about the kind of self-confidence you hear about everywhere, like looking in the mirror and telling yourself, "I am brave." That's just a bullshit. I'll show you the correct way, and it's simply a mindset that you need to adopt. If you master this, I guarantee you'll have social circles and connections everywhere, build loyal friends who stand by you in your toughest times, and wherever you go, people will respect you. Believe me, I've read many books on this topic, watched thousands of videos about it, and tested all that advice in various places where there are people. After gaining significant experience in this field, I'll show you the most important concept that will change your social life forever. So subscribe to the channel quickly, focus with me, and let's get started right away. First, let me correct some of the misconceptions you have. If you ask anyone you know, whether it's your friend or anyone else, "How do I increase my self-confidence?" they will likely say dress nicely, wear sunglasses, and hit the gym. These things might boost your self-confidence, but they're just secondary. What I mean is, let's assume you went out to buy something. You don't need to look fancy just to buy something. Does that mean you'll act weak around others just because you don't look good or don't have a strong physique? So, the first thing I want you to ingrain in your mind is that self-confidence has nothing to do with your appearance, body, height, or any other external factors. To help you understand what self-confidence really means, let me give you another example. Ethan wanted to play football, so he went to the nearest field to practice. However, his football skills weren't that great. While he was practicing, a group of boys came onto the field and started mocking his playing. One of them said, "My little sister kicks better than you." Ethan responded, "No, it's just the sunlight got in my eyes, so I didn't kick well." After that, Ethan never played this sport again, nor any other sport. Now, if we replace Ethan with a confident person, that person would have responded, "At least your sister and I are playing sports," unlike a bitch like you who only knows how to sit at home and criticize others. Or if they didn't want to cause trouble, they might not respond at all. The important thing is that their feelings about themselves wouldn't change. Have you ever heard this phrase? Yes, self-confidence is how you feel about yourself. Self-confidence is the shield that protects you from others' opinions. The thicker that shield becomes, the less impact people's words will have on you. This is the essence of self-confidence, and to become a truly confident person who is unaffected by anything around them, you need to make self-confidence a way of life. It's like the muscles in your body. The more you train them, the stronger they become. The only thing that can boost your confidence is your actions alone. Train yourself to be a confident person, especially during times of extreme nervousness. Since that can be a bit challenging, I'll help you by introducing a particular mindset. If you adopt it, you'll become socially unstoppable, almost superhuman. Most of the time, when you feel nervous around someone, it's because you see them as better than you, whether it's their appearance, style, or the way they speak. You may even feel so intimidated that you're afraid to communicate with them. Think about any situation like this that has happened to you, whether it was with a man or a woman, where you felt low in confidence, started sweating a lot, and your heart rate increased, all because of just one person. Maybe your experience wasn't this extreme and you were just slightly nervous. Either way, situations like this can only be explained in one way. You placed yourself at a much lower value compared to the person in front of you, which caused the nervousness. And if we replace this person with someone less successful or unattractive, your sense of value would be higher. From this situation, I want to address two topics. First, your perception of yourself, and second, your perception of the person in front of you. First, let's talk about your perception of yourself. Can you tell me why, in this situation, you give yourself such a low value? Why did you imagine the man or woman in front of you as a lion, a beast, a king of the world, while you see yourself as nothing more than a small insect? You might answer, "Well, I'm not attractive, I'm not successful, I don't have a great body," and all that nonsense. Pay close attention to this. Self-confidence is a state of mind. It has nothing to do with your features, it's entirely a mental state. You need to give yourself the highest value. Put a 10 on yourself, not because you're attractive or successful, but because it's your life. You're the one living with yourself all the time, and you are responsible for your life. So give yourself the highest value, and it has nothing to do with your characteristics. You give yourself the highest worth because it's your life. If you have the opportunity to set a high price, give it to yourself, not to someone else. To help you get used to this mindset, I'll give you some actions you need to fix in your mind so you can move from being someone who sees themselves as a failure with a value of 2 to someone who sees themselves as a king of the world with a value of 10. First, don't talk about your achievements. This may sound strange to you, but it will train you to be someone who doesn't care about people's opinions. Maybe you got a promotion at work or traveled to a distant place, but as a confident person, you don't need others to encourage you or be proud of you. Your achievements are for you, not for others. In the end, people will know about your accomplishments without you telling them, and the results will be much better than if you told them yourself. To summarize, any achievement you make is done for yourself, not for others. So stop saying, I did this or I accomplished that, because ultimately, you don't care what people think of you. What matters is how you see yourself. Keep your goals and achievements to yourself and stop trying to gain people's admiration, because that's what will make them admire you. I can't explain this more clearly, so let's move on to the next point. Second, accept your weaknesses. This is something you'll find in any confident person. For example, if you're short, let's say 160 cm, self-confidence isn't about looking in the mirror and telling yourself, I'm tall. No, it's about accepting that you're short, plain and simple. Anyone who tries to make fun of you won't affect you because you already know you're short and they'll leave you alone. This applies not only to height, but also if you're overweight, skinny, have acne, or are poor. None of these things will have any power over you if you accept them. You can even joke about them with your friends, like telling a funny story about something that happened to you because of one of your weaknesses. This will make people see you as confident. More importantly, you'll be the one building your confidence, increasing your self-worth despite your flaws. Third, express your opinion freely. Let's say you run into someone at school and they tell you that bodybuilding or weightlifting is boring and pointless, and that swimming is much better. Now, if you're someone with low confidence, you'll probably agree with him and go along with his opinion, even though you love weightlifting more than anything else. But as a confident person who loves bodybuilding, you would say, no, for me, bodybuilding is my favorite sport. Swimming is also useful, but it's not my thing. And if he start arguing, criticizing your opinion and giving all sorts of reasons, you'd calmly reply, I enjoy this sport, and that's my opinion. Maybe my tastes are different from yours. If he keep barking at you, just say, all right, you're right, and walk away. A scenario like this shows that the person is confident because they simply don't care what others think of them. What matters is their own view of themselves. They didn't get nervous or scared of entering a debate because they placed a higher value on themselves than anyone else. In the end, they told the person they were right, but we all know they said it just to shut them up. And anyone with whom you express your honest opinion will have respect and appreciation for you, more than if you just went along with them and agreed with their viewpoint. This is simply because by doing so, you demonstrate that you have your own unique personality, and you might even convince the other person of your own perspective. As a result, you will influence those around you. The best part is that you have your own independent thoughts, and you don't believe anyone just to avoid a debate. These are just a few traits of a confident person, and they can help you improve how you see yourself. These are just aids, but the most important message in this video is what I'm about to tell you right now. Always accept that you are the most important person in your life. You are the best among everyone, and you give yourself the highest value, not because of your wealth or looks. You give yourself the highest value because you're selfish and love yourself, and because it's your life, and your interests come before anyone else's in this world. Get used to walking around as if you're wearing a crown on your head until your brain gets programmed to see this as your reality, and that crown becomes impossible to remove. One simple fact: people believe and accept whatever they see. So if you give yourself the highest value, people will accept it and treat you accordingly. If you give yourself a lower value than others, they'll accept that too and treat you accordingly. I'll discuss this more in the next section. But the key point is, don't hesitate. Give yourself the highest value possible. Be a king to be treated like a king. Secondly, your perspective on people. Why do you see the person in front of you as the most important person in the world? I'll share 3 things that will change how you view any person, reducing their value to 0. First, people are constantly under the influence of social media. Anyone you see in front of you is influenced by social media. What I mean by this is that they are exposed to thousands of people every day who have achieved the dreams they themselves desire. Every day they see someone who has succeeded, bought their dream house, or entered the perfect relationship. Let's say you're nervous about talking to a certain girl, maybe the most beautiful girl in the world, and we'll call her Emily. Well, Emily is also under the influence of the internet, and nothing crushes a person's self-confidence more than social media. So Emily sees her friend getting thousands of likes on TikTok while she struggles to get even a fraction of that, making her feel less confident. Then she sees another friend buying the best makeup products which she can't afford, making her feel even worse. Another friend posts about achieving the perfect body, and Emily starts seeing herself as overweight and unattractive, even though she's not. But she's fallen into the trap of comparison. This is an unfair comparison because on social media, people only show their achievements, not the struggles behind the scenes. Emily is just one example, but every person you see around you is like her. Everyone experiences insecurity, even just a little bit, every single day. And this is good news for you because now you understand that these people are just human. They all feel insecure and sad every day, and their minds are far from invincible. Unlike you, because you understand the trap of comparison. You now know that you deserve to give yourself the highest value. This realization will make you see that the high price you put on others is incredibly inflated and undeserved. Most people dream of things but never pursue them, instead getting addicted to social media, watching others achieve their dreams while they gain absolutely nothing. Literally nothing. Second, it's human nature to underestimate oneself and overestimate others. Keep this in mind, that feeling of anxiety when you meet someone new, they feel it too. If you rate yourself as a 5 and them as an 8, they might see you as a 7 and themselves as an 8, or even see you as a 9 while they're only a 7. The truth is, people often rate you higher than you rate yourself because they see their own flaws and don't know yours. This is how all people's minds work, but you've already broken this cycle because you now understand people's flaws without needing to live with them, and you've already accepted your own flaws and given yourself the highest value possible. The only person who controls this dynamic is you. When you meet someone new, they initially give you a higher rating than you give yourself. But as I mentioned earlier, people will accept whatever value you project and treat you accordingly. So you're in control. Now that you know new people see you as better than them, act confidently and they'll accept it. However, if you speak quietly and look down, they'll lower their opinion of you. The takeaway is, always remember that new people see you as better than them. With this truth in mind, you no longer need to overvalue them. They will elevate your value instead. This also confirms that most people are insecure and lack social skills. Third, no one can live without attention. Everyone craves attention from others. They post pictures of themselves at the gym or other places and then wait eagerly for the likes, comments, and hearts to roll in so they can get that dopamine hit. They check who liked their post and who didn't. If you pay attention to this, you'll realize how pathetic people can be, and this understanding will give you even more confidence. You'll see that people are not nearly as significant as you once thought. Now let me summarize this video for you. You now understand that self-confidence is how you feel about yourself. It's the value or price you assign to yourself, and you need to give yourself the highest value possible. Not because you're good-looking, successful, or rich. You assign yourself the highest value simply because you love yourself and it's your life, and your needs come before anyone else's. Since people accept whatever value you give yourself, they will treat you in a way that reflects your self-worth. You've also learned that self-confidence is a state of mind. When you feel nervous around someone, don't act naturally, which usually means acting timid or unsure, but instead behave as if you're confident even if you're not. Keep pretending to be confident until your brain internalizes it and it becomes who you are. In other words, to build self-confidence, you need to fake it until you make it. Secondly, you've realized that the people you encounter daily, the ones you feel anxious talking to, are some of the most insignificant people in the world. They're all under the negative influence of social media. They all see you as higher in value due to human nature, and they're all seeking attention. Every single one of them feels sadness, fear, and insecurity. And in the end, every single one of them will die. Now that you know the truth about yourself and about others, you'll naturally walk with an open posture, head held high, and make eye contact when you speak with a confident voice. These are all results of genuine self-confidence. The self-development videos you've seen only show you these results without understanding that you'll automatically do all these things once you grasp that self-confidence is just a mindset. That's why I won't talk about those behaviors, because you'll do them on your own now that you understand the truth about people and your real value in comparison. Lastly, if you're about to do something, always ask yourself, are you doing it to impress others, or are you doing it for yourself? My advice for you now is to apply everything I've talked about in this video and get used to giving yourself the highest value possible. When I say apply it, I mean what I mentioned earlier. Act confident in situations where you feel nervous, like public speaking or even making jokes in front of them. Why not? Don't worry, you won't have to fake it for long before it becomes real. If you want to earn more respect, feel free to watch this video. Subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed the content. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.